Okay, hello everyone. So this is a presentation that's supposed to be for Engineering Shadow Day, but I figured it would be a good opportunity to make a short video to sort of introduce what Emerging Technology UNB is. And really the whole point of this presentation is to challenge whoever's listening to think more deeply and critically about how technology is influencing your life and the world around you. So I'd like to start off with a quote, and that is, the average person checks their phone 150 times a day. Why do they do this? Are we making 150 conscious choices? And so Tristan Harris is a ex-design ethicist at Google, and he has some incredibly wise insight into how big tech companies are designing their platforms or their products to sort of hack human psychology. And there's another part to this quote, so I'll finish it up. So one major reason why is the number one psychological ingredient in slot machines: intermittent variable rewards. Addictiveness is maximized when the rate of reward is most variable. So I think this quote sort of starts this off nicely, because the whole point of ETUNB is really just get people talking about and thinking about how technology is influencing them. And this quote kind of gets right into that. Okay, so what is Emerging Technology UNB? Well, our mission is to address technological disruption via a few different ways. So one is just having conversations, whether that's at our weekly meetings. Second is spreading public awareness. So this would be coming to events like this, sharing things on Facebook and Instagram. And lastly is by hosting engaging events. And here's just a few pictures of some of the events we've had. As you can see, we do some things with virtual reality, but we like to explore other technologies as well. So what is technological disruption? I like to think of it as advancements in technology disrupting our way of life, society, and the world at large in unpredictable ways. What are some disruptive technologies? So here's a list of a few, but there's certainly many more. So that could be automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, brain-computer interfaces, genetic engineering, cryptocurrencies and blockchain, and virtual reality / mixed reality. I like these ones because they certainly are more popular in the public discussion, and they have high probability of disrupting society. So in order to talk about technological disruption, it's important to first introduce the idea of the fourth industrial revolution. So many people are saying that we are entering what is called the fourth industrial revolution. And this is really just the convergence of all of these information computer-based ubiquitous technologies entering almost every aspect of industry, society, and personal life. So just on the left here is a picture of Andrew Yang. The reason I've included a picture of Andrew Yang is because he is a 2020 Democratic presidential candidate in the United States of America, and he is talking about the fourth industrial revolution. He's saying that one of the major challenges that the United States and other countries are facing is going to be mass automation that causes massive unemployment. And in fact, there's already been millions of jobs that have been automated away in the United States. And I just think it's really, really amazing that there are politicians running for the president of the United States talking about the fourth industrial revolution. This really is something to pay attention to. And so I've just included some pictures of some of the technologies that I mentioned in the last slide. So this is a picture of Neuralink, which is a company backed by Elon Musk, and they're trying to create a brain-computer interface, and that is to decode brain signals and to transmit this directly with computers rather than having to interface with the computer with a keyboard and your fingers. Self-driving cars, robotics, genetic engineering. See, the important note is that these technologies are only going to continue to get more and more advanced, and they're just going to continue to be more involved in everyday life. So something like genetic engineering, it might seem a little bit far away or abstract, but this really gives humanity, science, and technology the ability to alter the makeup of life and to really have the power of controlling the evolution of different organisms, creating different organisms, and altering what it means to be a human being. So I just pulled some headlines, and these are all fairly recent. So CRISPR gene editing treatment shows success in first human patients. So this stuff is really happening. Is the U.S. losing the artificial intelligence arms race? So a big concern with some direct disruptive technologies is like artificial intelligence is that it develops into what is known as an AI arms race. So different nations, let's say China and U.S., want to be the leaders in these technologies, which just drives massive accelerated development without much thought into how it might negatively affect humanity or society. And on the bottom here, you can see brain-computer interface makes thought-controlled typing a reality. And this stuff really seems like science fiction, but people are working on advancing these emerging technologies and bringing them to sort of the consumer market and to engineering practicality. Just another cool company I'd come across, and they are going to be selling this device that just you put on your head and it measures your brain waves and it can actually decode certain types of thoughts and turn that into actions on some electronic device like a computer, a TV, your phone, etc. All right, so how do we navigate such a technologically complex world? So I think, understanding the likely implications of future technologies, like some of the ones I just mentioned, is an important step. Also, just understanding how current technology is designed. So kind of bringing it back to that first quote, a lot of the platforms we use, like our phones, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, they're designed very intelligently. These companies have thousands and thousands of brilliant software engineers using psychology research to make their platforms as addictive as possible. And it really, really does work. Another thing is just to experience emerging technology. So it's one of our missions is to really provide access to some of these technologies to curious students. So like having events where people can try virtual reality, interact with, a little robot with AI built into it, things like that. And really, the simplest thing is just starting the conversation. So just talking to people about how does all of this technology make you feel? How do we live in a world where millions and million jobs have been automated away, or we're now able to connect our brains directly to computers and the internet, or we have the ability to genetically engineer any kind of life form. So, right, this is really going to revolutionize what it means to be alive and how we perceive reality. So it is important to really just, talk about that, and just for the sake of mental health or have like psychological reasons, just so that we can adapt and be best prepared for the results of the fourth industrial revolution. So just another quote by another thought leader that I'm a really big fan of. In the past, censorship worked by blocking the flow of information. In the 21st century, censorship works by flooding people with irrelevant information. In ancient times, having power meant having access to data. Today, having power means knowing what to ignore. This is a quote by Yuval Noah Harari, and I think it really just hammers down the fact that we are completely inundated with so much information all the time, and it can really distract us from the bigger picture. So it's important to step back every once in a while and really think about the trajectory of how technology is developing. Okay, so I guess the major takeaways of this presentation, if there's one thing that I want you to walk away here with, is just these few names in mind. Okay, so Yuval Noah Harari, Tristan Harris, Andrew Yang. Go on YouTube, look them up, watch some of their videos, and really just think about the ideas that they're trying to spread, and understand that these are real issues that global thought leaders are talking about. And just another quote here, people are usually afraid of change because they fear the unknown, but the single greatest constant in history is that everything changes. Another quote by Yuval Noah Harari, I think is a pretty self-explanatory quote. Okay, so here's just some links and additional resources. I'll just post the links into the description of this video. QR code so that during the actual presentation, people could scan this, get access to this presentation and all of these links. But anyway, yeah, I hope that gives you a good sense of what ETUNB is up to, and also just challenged you to sort of maybe explore some of these ideas in your own time. Anyway, thanks for listening.